Welcome to the
How are
KC
you?
Stars, where we talk to people in the local film community. And I
Hmm.
have with me Matt McCann, not Matt McCant. And you've heard that joke so many times.
A
I
couple of
apologize.
times.
I
I've put some
apologize
variations.
on
No, no
behalf of,
sweat.
of
No sweat.
Matt McCann. He's an actor, a sound specialist, a musician, a writer, um, pretty much everything. You said a jack of all trades or something like that. I'm gonna let you introduce
Yeah.
yourself before I screw it up anymore. Matt McCann, everybody. Matt
Oh.
McCann.
Hey, thank you so much. No, I would not consider that screwed up at all. I'm kind of a Swiss Army knife. I'm a theater guy and a musician. And after, I guess I did one film while I was in college, but I was like an assistant costumer, right? And because when you're theater trained, they train you a little bit on everything. So Johnson County Community College did a handful of plays there, and obviously you have to do a bunch of behind the scenes work and all that. And then went on to Kansas State and did a handful of plays there as well. But they also they'll put you behind a light board, they'll put you behind a soundboard. I did a few sound designs while I was there. You do a costume plot, you do all the stuff. Theater degree.
I have a question. You sent me a message and you
Yeah.
talked about a Irene Ryan.
Yes.
What is
Yeah.
that? Play like I
That's
know nothing.
okay. The American College Theater Festival is this. If you do college theater at all, you've probably heard of the American College Theater Festival. It's nationwide, and the nation is divided into, I think it's seven regions, right? But the Midwest was the region five, at least while I was going to school for way too long. And anyway, yeah, so it was basically the highlight of my year. It was always during playoff time, mid-January. Everybody's just getting over the flu for the first time, and then they all meet. Every college kid conglomerates on one city, and the cities rotate around. Um, and Based on all of the plays that you'd done all year, certain people would get nominated for excellent performances in their plays as being able to compete in the Irene Ryan competition, the scholarship competition. But they also did several other competitions throughout the week. It's not just actors; it's lighting designers and costume and everything. And it's basically a 1 week long celebration of everything academic theater that you can
Wow.
imagine. And it's a blast. And they bring certain shows in. I probably did it 7 or 8 times because I was in college way too long. Um,
You got to compete a lot.
yes, yeah, it was really fun.
That's
It was
awesome.
worth the stay.
Now, you went to K-State and
Correct.
graduated with a degree in theater,
In theater, Bachelor of Science in theater. Yeah.
Bachelor of Science in theater. Would seem like it would be a Bachelor of Arts, but what do I know?
I started as a Bachelor of Arts, and then they were like, "How are you with foreign languages?" And I was like, "Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't want to spend a lot of time in a language box learning Spanish or French or whatever just
Okay.
because." And I was passionate about math and science and logic. My intro to formal logic class was life changing, right? It's a different ball game when you go in to college with all your own preconceived notions and everything that's been stuffed full of your head, the whole time you're a kid. And then you go off to college, and the first time you're like, oh man, this this stuff actually can build a working television set. What do they got? You know what I
Wow.
mean? So yeah, it's a different ball game, and I loved being a Bachelor of Science. I thought that was a wholesale the right move for me.
That's awesome. You
Yeah.
grew up in the Kansas side,
Yes, Olathe.
Olathe, but you
Yeah.
got promoted, so now you live in Missouri. Am I right on
I I would, yeah, I would consider it a promotion. Yeah,
that?
I do. I do. We'll see. We just lost the Chiefs, so we
Yeah,
will
well,
presumably.
yeah, I may have to move to Kansas too. So
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a grandchild who lives in Overland Park, and we're
Yeah.
17, 18 minutes away. I live in Grandview. We're like really close, and my wife acts like we're not close enough.
Hmm.
So I may end up living in Kansas before my life is
Hmm.
over. And if the
So I'm
Chiefs
not
go
being
there, it'll be a
super
promotion.
professional.
What's that?
Blue Moon, by the way.
Blue
I'm
Moon.
going to be
Excellent.
super, super professional.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So how did you get started? So you talked about in junior college plays and in
Mhm.
college. What about in high school? Did you do plays in high school?
A little bit, yeah. I guess in junior high, I was like a big Weird Al Yankovic fan, and so I started playing guitar, and we did like a couple of like the, you know, talent shows and stuff at the end of the year, and just trying to perform in general. But in high school is when I finally like started hanging out with performers and meeting people in the theater department, and finally like getting involved. And so, yeah, my first performances were, I don't know, we did like Arsenic and Old Lace. That might have been my last, actually. I think it was Labray and Cyrano de Bergerac. So like my best friend was Cyrano, and I got to play Cyrano's best friend and Cyrano, so it was kind of fun. And then I got to be the Scarecrow, like kind of bang right away. Um, because I can sing. I can't really dance, but the Scarecrow can't really dance either, so it's okay.
You made that you're like we're a
Yeah,
method actor by
yeah,
not learning
yeah.
how to dance very well.
Funny story about that one. I legitimately got set on fire during a live performance of that show.
Oh my
Um,
goodness. What
yeah.
happened?
So at the end of the play, it's similar to middle of the movie. At the end of the play, the witch shoots off a fireball at the Scarecrow, and we let one of the guys, pack the fireball thing. It's just a little stage magic act, you know, shoots off a little flint thing, and he just packed it extra tight because it was picture night and everybody was going to be there. And so this huge flip, way bigger than normal fireball comes out of her wrist, and it goes when it goes where it's supposed to go, way up. But it doesn't fully extinguish by the time it comes and lands directly on my shoulder. So we just continue going on with the scene. Um, and sure enough, my back starts like, ooh, man, okay. And there is a picture of me in the yearbook, my senior year, with a fireball coming off of my shoulder. And
Wow.
one of the drill teamers who was playing one of the scarecrows had to come out and pat me down. And I was like, before I even knew I was on fire, I was like, thank you. Okay, let's continue. Like,
That is awesome. Hey,
yeah,
that person was actually, you said one person. So you're on fire and there's all these people there. Only one person came up. So
one
you owe
person,
that person.
her name, as I recall, if I get this wrong, I apologize. I'm awful with names. We're going to run into this. I believe her name was Stacy Knight, and you can only imagine why that stuck out to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
she helped you a lot.
yeah,
Um, I guess like I interviewed Nicole,
yeah,
who you've met
yeah.
before,
I've
and
seen her around.
yeah,
I've seen her around.
like her
She's over
focus.
here. She's over here. She's gonna feed me names if I need
Oh
them.
no,
If you're
oh
like,
no, you
oh,
don't
this
need
guy,
that.
I'm
You
gonna
don't
go.
need that. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, like she was focused on acting. Like that's
Yes.
her focus. You have like a variety of focus.
Yeah.
So like what do you want to accomplish? Because you've got a variety of kind of irons in the fire.
Um. You know what? That's I want to make good shit. I just want to make good shit for the rest of my life, right? We're not gonna have a whole lot of money, probably ever. We're not gonna have any kids. We're gonna have a cat, and we're gonna make art. And I just want to do that. So if I can ever look back at my life someday and I ever made something like that, great. That's
That's
what I want.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's the perfect job for you on set since you're kind of a jack of all trades? Like what would be the perfect situation?
Um, it kind of depends on the project. Um, Yeah, you know what? It's very, very project dependent. Like I'm not proud. Like I don't have a thing that like, oh man, I wish I was doing that or anything like that. When I was a kid, I grew up thinking that it would just be awesome if I could be a guitar player playing rhythm guitar and singing harmonies and somebody else got the spotlight. That I thought that was going to be my thing, you know. But yeah, I don't care if I'm in front of the camera or whatever. I want to make the piece better. So I guess the more empowered I am um, from a creative standpoint, that becomes ideal for me. No matter what role I'm in, if people are willing to bat ideas around or, you know, involve me in the solving of problems, that's usually ideal for me.
Well,
That
it's
way, I'm
fun.
not sitting in the corner. You know, a lot of times the sound guy, it's
Yeah,
hurry up and wait, right? And just when you have three or four different ideas for how you could maybe help here and maybe help here and maybe help here, it's unprofessional to go around telling other people how to do their job,
right.
right? You don't do that. So, as a sound guy who kind of has ideas, you can sit over there in the corner for an hour and a half and just be like, man, I should have talked to him about, like if you need me for this, in advance. So I
Yeah,
try to be subtle when I offer up
yeah,
suggestions.
I can imagine. Now, on IMBD, it shows you as
Yeah,
a actor, writer, and sound mixer, sound design, something to that effect.
yeah,
You consider yourself all three?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Tell me about writing. Explain writing to me. What's your process? What kind of things do you write?
My process usually goes like this: procrastinate, procrastinate, procrastinate. Oh shit, get it done in a big, big burst of caffeine induced. Yeah, give yourself a deadline because if you don't give yourself a deadline, that 48-hour will never happen for me as a writer. And then I'll be sitting on, I don't know, I've probably written um, two pieces of my own with another half a piece kind of that's been in progress for several years. I'm currently adapting a couple of other pieces that I would like to shoot that friends of mine in theater wrote, and because I don't have a deadline, it just never gets done.
Yeah,
So those are projects that have been sitting in the wings for years. But Cinemasochist was, I don't know if you know the show Mystery Science Theater 3000. Actually, I already asked you this,
it's okay. Yeah.
But for your listeners, do you know the show Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Is it the one they have the little aliens and Goofy setting in the theater and it's the movie being played in front of them? Is that kind of the setting?
Correct.
Yes, I
Correct.
remember it very well.
Yeah. So the I was in a comedy troupe, essentially, I guess is what we'd be called. Uh, Myself and Dale and Bess, um, which their last names are all of a sudden escaping me as I
Well, those names don't sound very
okay.
funny, so
Yeah, right.
good luck.
It's because you're talking to me. Like I know these people forever. Dale Maxfield and Bess Hales. All right. But it was Dale's baby, and he just wanted to do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 style show. Um, which, if you've seen the show, they're riffing the movie, but
Mhm.
we didn't want to do it as improv. We wanted to have legit funny jokes, so we took the whole month and wrote a comedy script, which our goal is a joke being said out loud by one of us at least every 15 seconds. If the audience sits there for 20, 30 seconds, they're like, am I at a comedy show? Or am I just here to watch this movie? Right. So we wrote 800, 900 jokes a month for years, right?
Wow.
85 episodes, something like that. It was a huge, huge, huge. I, I, I consider myself an actor and a sound guy first and second, but by far I've done more writing than anything else just because of that and the stage readings that I did for years, which we can get into, I
Now,
guess.
those were full-length movies.
Full length movies, yeah.
So you
So
watched the movie, took notes, like you all like that would have been hours and hours of effort.
it's hours and hours and hours for days upon days. You watch the same 30 seconds, sometimes dozens, maybe hundreds of times, and you think of a joke. It's not very good, but you write it down anyway. You watch it two or three more times. You think of how you can shorten it, how you can rearrange it so that the punchline happens at the end. You wonder, like, oh, should I just be commenting here or should I put it in a voice? Right? Should I give the joke itself a character and make it a double joke? Right? And you just sit there and analyze and analyze and analyze and analyze,
Wow.
two, three jokes a minute for an 85-minute movie. It adds up.
Wow, that's a lot of
Yeah,
work.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Writing sucks. I don't know why anybody does
Well,
it.
so tell me, like, do you ever adapt other people's stuff? You said talked about someone asking you to do it, but like,
Yeah, actually, I have mostly asked other people. There's one, Derek Troutline is playwright, producer in town, a good friend of mine, and he does the Spooky Shit Show productions. I've done, Nicole has also done, I don't know, three or four of different plays with him. And he had one skit inside the first Spooky Shit Show that we did called Dexter and Willie about a marionette puppet, not a marionette puppet, but a puppeteer's ventriloquist dummy. Thank you. That's the word. The ventriloquist dummy that comes to life whenever he's not around and, helped him come to fame. It's this murderous tale, you know, and it was just brilliantly performed uh, by my friend Alice. Um, her last name, Pollock. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Last names are going to just, but anyway, Alice
It's all
Pollock
good.
um, did a phenomenal job with this. And I just wanted to turn it into a short film. And it's still just sitting on my desktop, half written. And, at some point we'll do it. At some point I'll want to direct that. I love it.
Yeah. So you also have directed before?
I've directed some theater. In college, I did a few things, but professionally, the only direction I've done were two pieces that we just did at the end of the year last year that we did for hopefully this catches on. It's at the Mod Gallery in downtown Kansas City. It's going to be on Monday nights, but it's going to be in short bursts, right? So they'll do last year at the end of the year, they did season one of what the whole thing is going to be called story shots,
Hmm.
where local playwrights are going to write 10-minute plays, submit them to the producer who runs the thing. His name's Forrest Attaway. And basically they're going to choose two or three 10-minute plays to do on a weekly or bi-weekly basis for, you know, a certain run. And yeah, so I was able to direct two shows. Um, very, very cool pieces. I'm going to also look over here. Uh, was Seattle and the Cat Comes Back. I'm sorry, Seattle was the one I did with Nicole. No, it was Welcome Back and The Cat Comes Back were the two that I directed. And then I acted in the one called Seattle with Nicole.
Very cool.
Those were written by Emma Carter and Emma Panzica Pontiac, uh, two local playwrights, and performed by Alice Pollock, Jamie Morrow, Rebecca Ralston, and Brent Custer.
Wow. I
Um,
recognize some of those
yeah,
names. That's who's who.
it,
Here,
yeah,
I'm going to ask you some questions about some pictures. What's
sure.
this a picture of?
That looks to me like one of the stage readings. If I'm going to guess, that's going to be from Pretty Woman. Um, yeah, that was Rebecca Ralston playing our Julia Roberts, and you might
Is
recognize
it her right there?
that is correct.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Is that Brandis Outlaw?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't remember who Brandis played in the
That's
stage
okay.
reading.
Who is this
So
guy? He looks kind of different.
yeah, that goofy guy was not in that production. That was one of the first stage readings that I directed.
That's awesome. And then this lady
Yeah,
with the hair.
that is my fiance, Nicole Hall. And I'm not blowing smoke when I say this. She is legit one of the best actors I've ever been around.
She's fantastic.
No,
This guy
no
right
joke.
here, I don't know, but I have seen his picture before
His
because
name,
I had Mike Rice on, and he
yeah,
had him in his play, and so I remember
yes,
his picture.
yes. His name is Pete Bakley. I've
Okay.
known him since I first moved back to Kansas City. The first time I met Pete, he was working on a fringe show called Skillet Tag, and I remember
I
my
like
friend
it.
Matt, my friend Matt Leonard was in that, and a handful of other people that I've met on and off. You know, the people that you're like, "Hey, guy." Those are
That's awesome.
my theater connections from 2010 or wherever that was, 2011, something like that. And
Wow.
maybe 2012. I don't know. It was early when I
This
first
so
came
this
back.
was like is this 10 years ago or when was this?
This was not. This was probably just before the pandemic, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
Maybe 2019, 20, yeah. It might have even been right before the pandemic. May have been that February show. Not positive, but it would have been right there.
And
Dylan,
yeah, what did you do with the job?
That was one of my early sound jobs. I had done a few things, but he was asking around, and so I came on set, and it was one of his first. It might have been his first film, I believe. And so it was one of those opportunities where I was able to kind of like, hey man, you should blah 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 a little bit. Like he was really really good collaborator on set. Debbie Diesel, and you know who's shockingly good? I shouldn't say shockingly, but
Yeah,
he cast his dad in his film, and his dad is bonkers good. I'm sorry, like his
that's
dad is
awesome. That's
great
awesome.
in
No,
that
I had him on.
movie.
He talked about his dad a little bit when I interviewed him too.
Yeah,
So sounds very
uh,
close to his dad.
he's a guy that I like immediately put on my radar as, oh, he's probably not going to get more work unless somebody starts talking him up or unless his son does another thing. But I'm absolutely going to cast that guy in something someday. He's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually I thought Dylan is very talented as well.
Hmm. And now he's gone on to he's made like three or four more films,
Yeah,
right? Since then. And I love this town. This town like
it's wonderful for
it
stuff. What is
embraces people and
this?
yeah. This was the first movie that Nicole and I and Josh Leonard produced together. Well, it's the only movie that all three of us have produced together, but it's the first one that Nicole and I produced at all. It's a short film that we made for the 135 Festival in, I believe, 2018 or 19. It was 2023. What? Yeah, she's over here feeding me stuff.
Okay,
Anyway,
it's good to have someone there to correct
it,
you.
she's,
Like
I don't know,
it's very
dates.
nice.
What am I going to do? Dates,
This is you
name.
tell her I am Mike McCann
Yeah,
or Matt
Mike.
McCann,
Yeah,
not McCant. Geez, I can't even make my jokes. No wonder I need to write down jokes every 15 seconds. That was horrible. I even screwed it up.
it's all good. It's all good.
So tell me about Cold Cut. What was it about?
Um, Josh came over and asked if we wanted to do something with him for the 135. And Josh Leonard, God bless him, he basically got Nicole and I started in film, right? And anyway, so we sat around one night and we kind of came up with a concept of like, we see like this 50s housewife, she's making sandwiches in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. And then the idea kind of came up that it could be like maybe kind of a music video. No, it's going to be a short film. It just feel like a music video, but she's singing along, right? So anyway, we came up with this idea, and then we got our friend Joseph Pekin, who is one of the best young cinematographers in this town, who's directing stuff now himself, to shoot it. And I wrote a song called "Stepping Into the Shadows," which is the bulk of what happens in the movie. Nicole wrote this relationship between this man and woman, in kind of an Edward Albee kind of style, right? Where they're like this everyman, kind of every woman. I believe. If you talk to Nicole about it, she'll probably quibble with me a little bit, but that's good art. Is everybody has their own interpretation. Um, Brent Custer and Nicole starred in it. Um, I had a couple of phenomenal musicians, Mark Lowry and Angela Randazzo. Um, they, yeah, they basically came in and we recorded the song that I had written, a little jazz piece, and yeah, we filmed it at Thomas Smith, yeah,
Oh
Thomas
wow.
Smith's place, and yeah, it was just a great little, real quick kind of thing, but it was so conceptually heavy. We used a lot of green screen, and it's like the woman is standing in the front and she's singing directly to the camera, and the her memories are playing behind her, and it just worked so well, and it,
That's
you know,
awesome.
it swept a bunch of awards at the 135 that year,
Did you
and
put it in any other contest?
we've put it out there a couple of other times and places, but I'm not even sure. And Nicole kind of runs that.
Well, it's been since
Um,
2019, so it's been so many years.
Yeah, it's over. We what we really need to do is get it posted somewhere. It's still not posted anywhere,
Oh
because
my goodness.
we're one of those terrible
All
filmmakers
right,
that
the
just
top one is the one I'm looking at. I know you might be able to see stuff beneath it, but that top
oh
one, what
goodness.
is that? I like your
That's
hat,
me
by the
with
way.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I wear a hat all the time, but that is Nicole's family. I believe it was a 4th of July. I
Oh
remember
my
we would
goodness.
all
I
hang
thought it
out.
was a film picture.
No, no, I think we would just, oh no, that was us during COVID when
Okay.
we didn't, it was like at the height of COVID, and we are like, all right, we're gonna come see family, but let's just hang out on the front porch and chill out. Yeah, it was not a film set.
Because I
But yeah,
saw
that's
both of you together, I thought, oh, and you're crouched down. That looks like you're like, oh, we're all together for a movie.
right. No, that's Nicole's mom and dad sitting over her shoulder like an angel devil, and then her little sister Pam behind her.
Okay. What is this? I know it was
Mm,
a zombie movie.
it was. That's the film that while I technically have credits before this is really what got me started in Kansas City film. It's Hopeless. Um, it was part of the Those Who Remain franchise that
Okay.
Josh Leonard did with Blue Boy Cinema. Um, yeah, so oh my God, Chad, Shauna, she's feeding me names over here. I'm not going to cheat. So, but Josh Davis Durock, it was filmed by this guy, Chris. No, no, no. What was his name? Hanson, right? Oh yeah. Anyway, really, really sharp eye. This guy. Yeah, Nick James was also involved in that. My goodness, it was a who's who. Chad Crenshaw. Um, anyway, it was great. Andy Penn, an actor friend I know from theater who'd done one of the first Those Who Remain, came back as one of the zombies. Just a huge thing. Um, Letha LaGuardia, she does makeup in this town, and she's great. If you get a
Wow.
chance to work with Letha or hire her, do so.
Now,
Um,
that's
yeah,
right. Is this the same movie?
yes, that's me. All I was technically a producer on that and a featured zombie. Um, I just gave him a couple bucks, and he was like, "All right, you're a producer." and Nicole, my fiance, got to hit me in the head with a baseball bat, which
Well,
was
that's
pretty fun.
that's your best picture. I like it. I really like that picture.
Thank you,
So what
thank
has
you.
happened? What has happened to you in this picture, or what backstory did you make up for yourself? Tell me what's going on here.
Um, yeah. So, what backstory did I make up for myself? I did make up a backstory. It had something to do with that dentist guy in the window. I think I might have been one of his patients or something
Okay.
like that. But yeah, I didn't give myself a huge long backstory. But
Yeah.
as extras, we were all kind of teaming up behind the window. And it just took a really long time to get this shot exactly right. But it's like a silhouette, and it's a really well made thing. Go to Blue Boy Cinema's YouTube channel. It's up there.
Okay.
And yeah, Hopeless, that whole Those Who Remain series is pretty good. And he has some ideas about how he's going to finish that up too. Josh Leonard.
I'm
He'd be
writing
a
it
good
down.
one for
Yeah,
your
I've actually met
podcast.
Josh Leonard before.
Yeah.
Um, this one, hopefully, I know this one I got right. This was a movie
Oh
set.
man.
Tell me what you did in Death Alley.
Oh yeah, Death Alley. I played it took me a second. I was like scanning for faces I recognized. Death Alley, I showed up, I was kind of a stranger on set. That was my buddy Nick, who again his last name just escapes me here. Do. Oh, because I'm sitting over on the theater side. Death Alley. Goodness
Well, I
gracious.
know this
Anyway,
guy here. He's been on the
yeah.
show. I've actually been in projects with him. Uh,
Yeah.
Ryan A. Johnson. He comes up to Kansas City occasionally and films.
Yeah, good deal.
So,
Good deal. The guys, they were really great. It was a Western, it was a feature, and it was kind of a big budget thing. And Nick, he just knows me from college and he saw me in a bunch of plays. We weren't close or anything like that. He just called me and was like, "Hey, are you still in Kansas City? Do you want to come out to Wichita and, film for a weekend in Cowtown?" I was like, "Sure, man." Right.
awesome.
That's how I get all my jobs is just some, "Sure, man."
Yeah,
I don't
that's
go to a
good.
bunch of auditions. I'm the laziest professional. You
So, what did you
know.
do in Death Alley?
um, but he wanted me to come do Tom Ayers, who was a real person who really got shot during the dual bank heist down in Coffeyville, Kansas, during the Dalton raid. If you've ever heard of such a thing,
Yeah, I've actually seen this
yeah,
movie because I knew a couple of the extras in it.
yeah.
I didn't know you, so I didn't see you because I didn't know you. But yeah, but I would have seen you.
I just saw it at the premiere in Wichita. They premiered it at a drive-through, and being a sound snob, it was hard for me because I'm listening on my radio. I'm like, oh man, I want to. So I'm anxious to watch it on Tubi. I just found out as I was making my big spreadsheet that it is on Tubi, and so I'm gonna go check it out again at some point.
Now,
But Tom Ayers, yeah, he was a real life guy. He was the owner of one of the banks who got shot, and he did get shot, but he lived, and he was able to uh, continue to own the bank for a real long time. Yeah,
that's very cool. I don't know if you remember this guy here, but he's super tall and skinny. He does
yeah.
creatures. So in something I
Okay.
was in, he was a regular person, and then another one he was actually the creature.
River Beauty.
River Beauty.
Very
Had the
cool.
costume on and stuff, and he does the Grinch at Christmas and stuff. Like I kind of know him a little bit for being and stuff with him. So
I
um
love it.
just
It's a
interesting.
small world once you get going. When I thought that not to go too far down a rabbit hole here, but
Yeah,
when
that's
you
right.
first get to Kansas City as just an artist, unless you're actively doing film, you have no idea how big the film community is, whether or not there's a film community at all. When I first got on with like guys like Josh and Davis DeRock, Chad Crenshaw, they started introducing me to their group of filmmakers. But very, very quickly, you realize you're just on one branch of a tree, and the tree is so big. There's so
Oh
many
yeah.
communities of filmmakers that I haven't even dipped my toe into meeting these people. And anyway, I'm anxious to do so. So,
There's
um,
there's a lot of people do their group and
yeah,
like they're in their group. I've had a few people on where they're kind of like they talk like there's a group of three or a group of four, and everything we do together. And so one writes, one directs, one, and they kind of rotate. I don't
right.
think there's anything wrong with that because they're making a movie with their friends and they're doing
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
But like, and then there's others who are more like Thomas Smith. I've done 5, 6 things with Thomas Smith, all different directors, different places because we
oh, yeah,
randomly show up with I have some repeats. I mean, I've been on like 5 things with Eric Willis, and I've been on a few things
yeah.
with Tanner Smith, whatever, but I
That's
have
great.
some repeats. But
And I love Tanner. I haven't he had me do some noise reduction for him on one scene that he ended up just having to do reshoots on. I was able to get it down about 75%, but there was just too much noise in the back.
it
So
is
I did
absolutely
I yeah,
fantastic person. I think he is like one of the kindest. Like I was on set and he was talking about 2 kids that made him mad, showing up late over and over, and basically it was like really hard for him to say that's it, and he did.
yeah,
So he's got the backbone too, but he does it in a kind way, I'm sure,
yeah,
or as kind as you can be, telling people you're done,
yeah,
thank you.
that's it. Hey, I've been fired from a lot of jobs and a lot of bands. I take it easy. It's all good. I'll still come see your show. It's fine.
Yeah,
You can fire me from anything for, that's fine.
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Um, oh, whenever you say your sound, all right,
Yeah.
so we have lavaliers, we
Yes.
have booms or whatever they're called, and you have
That's exactly right. Yes. Boom.
sound mix, sound mixers and sound creators. Like what are
That
you?
gets
Like
muddy. That
the guy who layers the background noise with the sound of the little machine and all that stuff. Like which
right.
part of that?
So the whole shtick here is you have to have somebody on set actually recording the sound, right?
Yeah.
And typically that person, God, in the past they would just be called sound engineer, right? Sometimes they would be called sound mixer. Sometimes they would be called sound recordist. Sometimes they would be called production sound. Sometimes there's just a billion different terms, and
Okay. I didn't realize that.
they all started getting mishmashed. And now every job I've ever been on, they're like, "What do you want to be called?" It's like an eye roll now. Nobody calls it the same thing.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, because what the jobs are is somebody's got to record all your production sound, get it as clean as they can get it, ideally with a lav and a boom, record everything, right? And if it's going to be difficult to get that boom close, have a float mic somewhere, right? So hide a mic in the flowers, or what we did for my first feature, Sylvania. There's a lot of car shots, right? So the car in front, there's no crew. Crew can't be in that because there's people in the back seat, there's actors everywhere, right? So my bag, my sound bag, and all my microphones and all the lavs go in the front seat, and then I hop that audio to the car in the back so the director can listen to it, and we press go, and then they do as many takes as they can, and then I only press stop when the car parks finally. But you have to have a hidden mic somewhere in the car because you can't have a boom. There's no boom. You can't be there to do it. So um, I'm anxious to see Sylvania. It just got released, and I wasn't able to go to the St. Louis premiere.
So
But
you do the sound
yeah,
on set.
well, that's what I started doing. But I pride myself on, like I said, being a jack of all trades. So I've done set sound, and I've also done post sound. I've also done dialogue edits, which is a specific part of post sound. I've also done some Foley, another specific part of post sound, which reminds me of another thing I got to put on my spreadsheet. um, yeah, so yeah, I try to do everything. I've also done, like I said, music and music supervision. You know,
I have a
yeah,
question. Like, and this is a legitimate question. Someone who knows
sure,
a little bit, but not the full picture. Okay, I
sure.
understand the lavs get my voice, and
Yes.
that when they hold the thing out and they've got the dead cat on the end, no offense to your cat running around behind there, and
No, it's okay.
that is going to get the whole room. Why do we have to get
Kind of,
both?
kind of.
Okay, yeah, explain to me. Why can't
I,
I just have a lav? Why do they have to hold the mic too? What's the deal?
yeah, all right. So, what's cool about those booms is that they are shotgun mics, right? So if I every once in a while, someone will put just a condenser mic on the end of one of those boomsticks. But the vast majority of the time, that mic that you're seeing in your head, that long,
Yeah.
skinny thing, that's called a shotgun mic, and it
Okay.
has gills. It has gills on the side of it that basically create. Are you familiar with how noise cancellation works at all, or you like if you
Um,
play something, if you play any noise, and then you take a recording of that noise and flip that recording upside down and play both noises at the same time, you get dead quiet.
okay.
It's
Okay.
how the stealth. It's how the stealth bomber works, right? So these gills on the side of the microphone, they keep the microphone from picking up any sound on the sides, and it's crazy. You can point it at whatever you want. Like that's how they do it on a football field, right? If you want to hear the quarterback at the 50-yard line, you point that little mic right at him from the sideline, and that's who you hear,
Wow.
right? And depending on how good your mic is, it could be as good as that, or it can be the $150 version that we use on sets for small films or these lower budget features. Anyway, but the point is not necessarily to get the sound from around you. It's to get another different quality version that includes room tone of your voice, because um, the lav mic is going to have the same weird tonality that you get whenever you hear your own voice, you hear your chest primarily, right?
Okay.
So the lav is going to sound how you sound to yourself, but everybody else is going to think like you sound like Barry White a little bit, right?
Okay. Okay.
So you want to get to me, I like to blend the two, and you have to make sure that they're in sync because, like I said before, if two sounds are the same, if one of them's flipped, they start to cancel each other out. It's,
So do
this
you
is getting a
own
little bit
all your
wonky, but
own equipment?
yeah, I bought when I first decided to be a sound guy, I just forked over a couple $1,000s for a mix pre-six and a good boom mic. And at the time, I just had two lavs. Now I have four, and they're still Sennheisers, right? In this business, sound guy, everything I've ever spent on all my gear, I could double it and get another set of good quality lavs. Like the best quality lavs are going to be
Mhm.
5 grand a pop, you know?
Do you also have equipment on your computer to mess with the sound,
Mm-hmm.
or like I'm horrible terminology, I know. I'm like
I
basic. I'm like a kindergartner interviewing you about sound. So,
Perfect. No, it's great because I have a kindergarten's understanding too, so I can actually sound like I can sound like I know what I'm talking about. No, I edit in Adobe Audition. It's capable of 32-bit float. If you're, were you a Nintendo guy?
No, no, I'm too
No,
old for a
never.
lot of that
Like
stuff.
8-bit, 16-bit. You ever hear
I'm too
those?
old for
Okay. So, well, audio has the same kind of, the same idea, right? You can break up an audio into as many little bits as possible. And the more little bits, the more clarity you're going to have when you play
sure.
it back, right? So, the newer technology, this 32-bit float technology, I don't know if you've ever heard the term, oh, that audio is clipping.
Yeah,
Right? If you ever heard that term, that's
yeah.
from those are the old analog days when your audio would clip, the audio would get distorted. In the digital days, when your audio would clip, it would just stop because you're overloaded and just nothing happens. So it was like really crucial you didn't clip your audio. Now with 32-bit float, you can clip it all you want and then just turn it down and it's fine.
Wow.
Right. So it makes the newer technology makes being sound guy kind of idiot proof if you know,
Oh, I
take
should
a
do sound.
if you can take you could take a couple weeks and learn the gear and start developing your ear, and it's fine. It's fine. You'll be
Is it
fine.
hard for you because you're like a talkative guy who knows a lot about
Mhm.
this, a lot of experience, and like when you are doing sound, the focus is on the actors, the focus is on camera, get the lighting good. Now focus on the camera. I would think lighting people would have the same situation, lighting and sound. Focus on the camera, focus on the actors, focus on all like, and you have all this knowledge, all this information. You and the lighting guy are hanging out.
We did a little bit on it's rare that a set has a dedicated lighting guy, honestly. Sometimes it's on these smaller budgets, a lot of times a cinematographer. I know guys like Devonte Brown brings his own lights to set, right? And it's something that you kind of take for granted when you're on set that, oh, these guys are doing double and triple duty and they're so Devonte's awesome. Hire that guy too. Um, anyway, but you go to a bigger production and they've got dedicated gaffers rigging up all these lights. Yeah, it's important that you and your entire production team make sure that you're all on the same page, right? Because it's all about story, 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 and making the writer and director and cast happy, right? So make sure you got your head on straight. Um, I've had a couple of times in the 40 some odd things that I've done where I was just too tired and too stressed out and almost lost my shit, like, and you just got to keep it together when, it's like sometimes being at war, it's just constantly, especially when you're young and you feel like, it's your first couple projects, things will just get on top of you, it can get stressful.
Yeah, I don't have credit for it, but I've been sound like once or twice, not anything I'm setting up, but where someone says put on the earphones
Yeah.
and and I'm holding the mic
What am I
and
listening
like
for?
yeah, it's just the kind of thing that you do like in small budget stuff,
Yeah.
uh, that kind of stuff. I've helped with lighting, even though I don't know what I'm doing, just because someone says go do that. I've pushed buttons before because people say I'm the writer, but I'm also going to be in the scene. Can you like they line it up? Okay. When I say rolling, whatever, and push the
Yeah.
button. So,
Speed.
that, and one of the things I remember is I put the earphones on, and then people were playing jokes by tapping on the
On the mics
microphone.
on their own
No, this was a boom,
on the boom.
and
Okay.
they're tapping on it, and I was shocked at how loud it was,
Oh, it's
and
remarkably loud.
how annoying it was when people
It's
did that.
super annoying. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was like someone I liked,
Yeah.
and they were just playing with me.
Oh
It
yeah.
was really annoying because it
You
was so.
have no idea.
It was like I didn't realize it banged in your ears. That I might have done it before. I don't even remember.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. It's super condenser mics are crazy. The first time I did home recording, I was in college, I was teaching guitar lessons, whatever, and I just bought this little Tascam home recording unit, set it up at home, and I stayed up all night playing Crosby, Stills, and Nash songs into it, right? But when I first plugged it in and first put phantom power to my new, shitty condenser mic, uh, it's, real low quality. But whatever, I still have it. Um, I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute. What is that? Is that a whistle? What is going on? I hear a whistle in the back of my music. Justin, it was my college roommate playing Madden two rooms over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it was
that's
picking up the
seriously.
whistle in his room. So yeah, crazy.
Yeah. What if you
Crazy
could
that
give
we play Madden
advice?
anymore anyway. The game sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, rabbit
If you
hole.
could give advice to yourself
Yes.
when you were in junior college or college, what would you get? What advice would you give yourself?
Uh, boy. Um, don't buy the Ford Escort.
So, by the phone.
It was a bad investment.
What about acting related?
Oh yeah, okay, acting related. Let's see.
Or film related?
Yeah, let's see. I would have gotten started earlier. I would have been braver, I think, to do my own stuff. You know, when you don't know, you kind of wait for stuff to come to you, or at least I did. I wasn't like a real go-getter, right? But it wasn't until I started kind of trying to do my own thing that people recognize, like, hey, this is a passionate guy and he's competent, so let's ask him to be a part of our thing. And now you just get busy without ever seeking anything out. You just get busy. um yeah, so be brave, be braver.
That's good. And the famous question, um, this is my BS question. You can only go to one barbecue place. Okay. Somebody's
Okay.
coming to town and they say, I only have time to go to one barbecue place. Let's go. I can go Kansas to Missouri. Let's get in the car and go. Where are we driving?
Yeah. Oh boy. um there's so many good options here, but I think the best that I've had recently was probably Slaps. I know
Slaps
that's
is
becoming a
awesome.
little bit of a staple. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've only had it the once, but it was really, really quite good. And before that, Q39 is always great. Joe's KC right there, the old gas station, the staples. You know,
Yeah.
people like Gates, people like Arthur Bryant's. They're all right, they're all right, but
Boy, you are
they're
truly a local guy naming off that many barbecue places. I really like that. That was good.
I
That's a
used to
lot
drive
of places.
I used to drive Uber for a while. So when I was freelance, crazy. When I quit my job, I've always had a day job until a couple of years ago. I quit my day job soldering logic boards, and the day I quit my job was the day I got Sylvania, which was my first feature as a sound guy. They called me like within 45 minutes. I got a call from Adam, who is the owner of Screenland Armor. I'm sure you've met Adam. Um, yeah, he's if not, you should meet Adam Roberts, right? Um, anyway, yeah, he's the owner of Screenland Armor. Super good guy, very supportive of local film.
Yeah.
And he called me out of the blue saying, like, hey, are you free the next couple of months? Yes, I am. I just quit my job. I've got my stuff in the back seat. So
So what was he, what
uh,
did he have you do?
serendipity. Adam had just heard that this group, this local filmmaker named Kyle Smith, not local, sorry, he's based out of Columbia, but he like went to school in Michigan. He was based out of LA, and his dad was the team doctor at Columbia or at MU, right?
Mhm.
So anyway, his dad is a pretty well respected guy in Columbia, and he just wanted to come home and make a movie in his hometown. And that movie, geez Louise, that's got some people in it. Carrie Bishi, she was in the Kevin Smith movie Red State. Um, Graham Vershear,
Very
really
cool.
good young actor who was in uh, the Edgar Allan Poe series on Netflix a couple years ago. But yeah, uh, check out, keep your ear to the ground for Sylvania when it comes out. Um,
Sylvania.
Sylvania.
Do you
It's
do
in
you regret
festivals
working
now.
as long as you did in a different job before kind of going to this full time?
So I don't actually do this full time.
Oh, okay, okay.
So no, yeah, my full time job, I work at a place called Fike. We do like explosion protection and fire alarm panels and stuff like that. So I do customer service calls all day.
Oh, okay.
That's my day job. And then, at night we just nights and weekends we just make movies as much or make movies or do a play. We'll be doing the show Kiss and Tail this Valentine's Day at the zoo. Um, yeah, well, like I said, we just did story shots last November.
It's awesome.
Um,
What have you
yeah, good
done that
stuff.
you're most proud of? Like if someone said I can look at one thing you've done, what are you going to recommend?
What I show people really is cold cut right now because it's the thing that I feel the most ownership over. That was Nicole and I's kind of, and Josh as well. But it was like kind of our baby that we did everything from whatever it is, from whatever to stern, from bow to stern. No, that's not the phrase. Whatever. But from beginning to end, we conceived it, we wrote the songs, we recorded everything, did everything on set, did all the post production, all the promotional stuff. Um, yeah, the only thing that was really, really out of our hands that basically the VFX was like Joe Pekin and Josh Leonard did most of that.
What do you think motivates you to keep doing this?
It's it's my passion, it's what keeps me going. Making art uh, is what makes me happy. I know if I start to get upset, if I start to not feel like I'm happy and in my own good place, it's because I haven't made anything in a long time, or I haven't picked up my guitar for too long, or you know what, I've been watching too much YouTube and falling down the rabbit hole of what's going on in the world and not filling my own batteries. You know, go see a movie, go see a movie. You know, um, unless I am making consuming art in some way, it doesn't. So I keep hitting that latch. But unless I'm making consuming art in some way, it just it all becomes meaningless.
Now, you were in plays and then you've acted in movies as
Mhm.
well. Do you have one you
Mhm.
prefer over the other?
Um, I think I would like to say that they're each great at their own thing, and that's true. But I like the notion that I can get on set for 3 or 4 days and make at least the raw material in 3 or 4 days that would normally take a month and a half of rehearsals. And putting on a play is a lot more work. So yes, the what sucks about film is that you don't get that immediate gratification, right? You get it in the can. Maybe as a cast, you go out and have a few beers or whatever afterwards, but then it can be in post for, my brother's film has been in post since the pandemic. You know what I mean? So, for 5, 6 years, things can just languish and you just don't have that gratification of an audience, seeing it immediately. So, um, theater, far more frustrating, um, but more gratifying in the end. Film is probably my preference though, just on the whole.
The only thing and I've never been in a play, but the only thing I think with plays, you do this fantastic performance.
Yeah.
You maybe do it on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. You do it for like 3 weekends or 2 weekends, and it's fantastic. Nobody films it, it's over. And, I mean, like you don't have the permanency of a movie. Sometimes maybe they do
Yeah.
film them, but I would say overall, I don't view plays as being the more permanent version.
No, you're right. A play, um, not to get too philosophical, but I like to think about um, every kind of art as parallel to each other, right? So one kind of art's not necessarily better, but like
Right.
in order to do a play, I like to think about, okay, what are like the stages of getting better at doing plays, right? As an actor, it's maybe I'm spitballing, but like don't sound like you're reading. You know, what do I do with my hands? That kind of stuff
Tell me
early.
more. Tell me
And
more.
then and then and then and then as you get further on in your career, you're making bold choices. You're trying to determine, how do I make a character arc that fits the themes of the piece? How do I create a physical life? And when I create a physical life, should I make allusions to something that also fits the theme of the piece? And so these layers get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's great being able to do all of that in real time in front of an audience and have the immediate gratification.
Yeah.
But anyway, pulling it back to the question, I guess that's the same as dance, right? That's this if you're a ballet dancer, right? Unless they're filming it, right? The rasa, the that term that you the I pulled out of my education, that rasa, that feeling that an actor and an audience gets, right? Well, you can get that when you look at a painting. You can get that when you listen to a song. You can get that when you watch a dancer. You can get that when you look at some amazing bit of ornate architecture. There's all of these art, all of these works of art and ways of expressing yourself parallel each other, and they are all just as hard as each other.
Sure.
Once you get past the first, I don't sound like you're reading, what do I do with my hands, that kind of stuff. That's how do I use a lathe, you know can I get up on my toes as a ballerina, that kind of stuff. Then once you learn the basics, right, of your new craft, it gives you a whole cornucopia of ways you can express yourself creatively, and that's what turns me on, right? That's the good stuff.
I like it. And I guess the next question that kind of builds on that is, how do you gain mastery of something, of a skill? How do you gain
Yeah,
mastery?
they say 10,000 hours. um I don't know as if I ever necessarily will be a master at any one thing. I mean, they say jack of all trades, master of none, and I think I kind of embrace that. What I really want to do is make sure that I have a minimum amount of competency at any skill before before I put myself out there doing that, so that I can at least be professional. And you know, if you're going to play darts, you don't want to be hitting the wall, right? You might not be the best dart player out there, but learn to hit the board, and then once you're learning to hit the board, go make your art, right? And be creative, and you can you don't have to be a master, right? I think it was Tom Petty that no, it wasn't Tom Petty. It was John Cougar Mellencamp said that he never wanted to make his guitar weep. You know, he just wanted to make a joyful noise. When I think it was Tom Petty that said he wanted to sound like Roy Orbison and play like Chet Atkins or something like that. I'm getting that quote wrong. And no, he never made it to anything like that. But he awesome voice, really cool songs. Don't bore us. Get to the chorus. These kinds of things. He's all of a sudden, oh yeah, I know he's got 16 songs that you know by heart.
Mhm.
And now that he's gone, he's left a legacy that is undying forever. He didn't have to be a master at the guitar.
On that note, when was the last time you played your guitar?
A little bit. So for Kiss and Tail, I had the opportunity to write no, it's a pain in the ass. Writing sucks. um, I wrote another song for the Humpback Whale sketch. And if you happen to come see Kiss and Tail, you'll get a chance to hear that song. It was supposed to be a barbershop quartet, and it turned into this like haunting, dark Crosby, Stills and Nash kind of thing. Um, but when I first wrote it as a barbershop, I was just singing and then singing harmony to myself, and I was like, that's kind of awful. And so I picked up my guitar and I played something, and I changed it got it to the point where I was like, okay, now I've created some art that I'm kind of proud of and I can share it with you. Right? Is
That's
it
awesome.
amazing? No, but
Yeah,
it's
no, that
it,
is it is kind of amazing.
yeah.
I don't know if the song's amazing, but I think it's pretty
We'll
amazing that you
see.
did a song and you like. I always admire people that create things out of nothing. And so writers, musicians, like, you are creating something with your mind, just saying, I
Yeah,
need to make something, and you did it. That's pretty
yeah.
impressive.
Well, thank you, and that's that's what I want to do, and that's who I want to be, and that's who I want to be around are the people who are like that and appreciate that and do that themselves and or lend their skills to help other people do that. That's just that's my chosen family.
That's awesome. Any
Yeah.
final thoughts of the day? Any words of wisdom?
Congratulations to you for putting this together
Yeah,
and
thank
for
you.
reaching out to people and bridging gaps. It's something that I've always kind of prided myself on, but never really did to this extent. And so it's really cool to see people like talking to people like Mike Rice, right? Like, oh, Mike, yeah, I love it. And um, that's another one. His piece that Nicole was in for Fringe a couple years ago, I think it was called The Plume. Yeah, that's right. Nicole said it right as I said it. But The Plume, it would be an amazing short film. Somebody needs to take it, adapt it, make it just a little bit shorter, and just give that guy a budget. My God, that would be an awesome short film.
Yeah, I went and saw his play. Oh, jeez, I can't remember the name of it. Oh well,
No,
sorry.
it's okay. Was it the
The one
most
he,
recent one
yes,
for Fringe? Yeah,
yeah, the enemies from within.
the enemies from within. Yeah,
Yeah,
Nicole
and
was in it
I went
too.
and saw that, and it was
Great.
powerful, and it
Oh yeah,
was kind of like picturing things as they are now, worse than they are. Like it's an
we're
exaggeration,
we
but
are
it
on
was
a
really powerful.
dangerous trajectory, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
not to get
powerful.
too far into that, but it was also really cool to like my friend. I had just met Curtis, didn't even know he acted. Right, Curtis Weber is that? Yeah, Weber. I had met him at um, one of the film events, and we just got talking about music and stuff. And he like lent me a couple CDs, and then a couple weeks later, I go see Mike's play. I'm like, oh, Curtis is in this. That's awesome. And oh my God, Rebecca, she was my Julia Roberts back in the day, and I haven't seen her in like in years. And here she is acting in this piece in a thing that's wildly outside of anything I'd seen her in before, where she's
It,
this
it was
racist
fantastic.
Gestapo. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I
It was
love it. I love
fantastic.
it.
Curtis, I met Curtis. I just met him
Yeah.
once, walking into an IFC KC thing and talked to him. That guy's fantastic. That
Yeah.
role, man, he sold it. He sold it.
For
I
real.
it really
And
did.
also, I really like it when I can meet somebody and then you just kind of like hit it off and the conversation flows super natural, just
Yeah.
super, not ghosts, super naturally. And yeah, like I think we talked for like 2 hours just about music,
Wow.
just chilling. I was like,
That's
oh,
awesome. Yeah,
oh, time kind of
Jessica
flew. Yeah,
Whitfield,
Jessica Whitfield.
Matt Donovan, I think is his last name.
Yeah,
Both of them were
and
wonderful.
Jessica, who I mean, she's won awards as an actress, but
Yeah.
like sneaky good writer. Her Prepper is very, very good writing,
Yeah,
and
I saw
I
that as
don't,
well. I saw that as well. It's very good.
yeah, I don't
Well,
hand that
I'm
out
gonna
easily.
let you go. I'm
Okay,
trying to keep these at an hour. Sometimes they go over a few minutes, but I'm trying to keep them at an hour. But
all
thank you
good.
so much. You did a fantastic job. And anything else to add? Any other words of wisdom?
Support local art, no matter what it is. Go see a band. Go see some theater. Go to the Black Box down in the West Bottoms and go just pick a show and go. Right. Uh, you know, be a patron. Be a patron. Even if you're an artist, it's so easy to forget to be a patron. Go support.
Yeah,
That's
thank
my
you.
advice.
That's
Yeah, you're
great
welcome.
advice. Thank you, sir. Thanks for meeting with me.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me, Kyle.
Thanks.
Good luck with your podcast. It's great.
All right. Thank you, sir.